There we go. Wow. And I'm semi-live, semi-not live. Let me give a shout out to Xfinity. Always doing great. Wonderful, wonderful service, wonderful support. Always consistent with the product that you deliver. It's actually quite amazing. So if you're tuning in Xfinity, then thank you very much for all the support that you give. So, man, oh man, I'll tell you what. Right in it, everything was going great. Got a little momentum going, and then bam, just like that, Xfinity decides to shut down the torque of the internet down to less than 1 meg. So we got it back up to like 30 where I'm at. I've got the Google Wi-Fi mesh throughout the house. That helps a little bit. Stream should be coming in at 200 meg, and here we are streaming at 30. So that's awesome. I'm glad I'm back too, Tina. Thank you. It's awesome. So here we go. We're back. We are back. What's up, Z-Bits? Joe Badero, Carl Lewis, Annalise. Everybody, welcome back. Glad you're here. Gaming Crypto, always good to see you log in. So we're going to just pick it up and we're going to hope for the best. Oh, Papa HODL. Everybody, this is always great to have my dad log in and join us on the stream. Not sure if you missed how Xfinity just yanked the carpet from underneath me and decided to shut down the internet. I thought I said something about Bank of America and they cut me off. So, YouTube's always watching. So, great, Z-Bits. Yeah, I definitely need some Z-Bits to speed up the internet here a little bit. So, but we're gonna kick it off. So, where did we leave off? We left off at, we're talking about this article that came on from, that was on Market Watch. Here we go again. If I mention Bank of America again, WildStar, they're gonna shut me down. See how many times I can say Bank of America caught paying a fine for fraud and money laundering. See how many times I can say that before they shut me down again. You got knocked off too? Oh man, you see? You see? Ah man. I think they're just feeding the AI through the system, looking for us at this point. So, all right, I am back. That's who's back. Carl, better believe it. We were talking about aliens. Yes, we were. And they decided to shut us down. They definitely don't like when we're talking about aliens, even though the Senate is definitely talking about aliens. Apparently, the Navy keeps seeing UFOs flying around. So let's go back to where we left off with this quote. Most of these fines have been assessed for misleading investors about the underlying quality of the mortgage they packaged into bonds during the housing bubble. It was right about this time that we got shut down. So wait for it. All right. No, didn't happen yet. All right. All right. So Bank of America, $76.1 billion in fines. JP Morgan. Now remember this from about 2008 to about 2018. JP Morgan Chase, $43.7 billion in fines. Now remember, think about how much money you pay on your mortgage. Think about if you miss a mortgage payment. Think about the fact if you miss a car payment. Think about any of those issues and how they come after you. Okay, JP Morgan, $43.7 billion in money laundering fines. And a lot of this had to do with the mortgage crisis. Citigroup, $19 billion. Deutsche Bank has paid $14 billion in fines. Wells Fargo, $11.8 billion in fines. RBS, $10 billion. BNP Paribas, $9 billion. Credit Suisse, $9 billion. Morgan Stanley, $8.6 billion. Goldman Sachs, $7.7 billion. And UBS, $6.5 billion. So these are, some extremely, egregious fines. So where did I get that from? I was looking at my notes as we're going through it. I pulled that right from this article here on Market Watch. I think it was really interesting. They compiled the top banks, the most egregious, and so, that says a lot. That's telling us really that, I don't even know if I'm sharing. I'm not even sharing my screen. See, they threw me off. You guys didn't even see what I was showing. It didn't even matter. Didn't even matter. All right. So you guys couldn't see it, but you heard what I said. Crimes and no convictions. Exactly, DNI. That's exactly what happened. So here we have a major issue. The Clearinghouse Consortium, ZBits. ZBits had an amazing stream. Was that last night already? I can't even remember what night it was. But he had a really awesome stream about the Clearinghouse and really connecting a lot of great dots. So that was awesome. Yeah, so WildStar, but considering how much they made off, all their bullshit and fines were just chump change, exactly, and we all paid for it, you know. And then they're beating up on the digital asset space because they obviously don't like the digital asset space because they're getting all their free money over here, you know. So, but with that, let's kind of skip into something positive, because the positive in all of this, you know, stuff that's going on, and we just need to, you know, kind of educate ourselves and really identifying what's really been happening out there. And so when they're bad mouthing the space, just remember, you know, everything they say is very reflective back on them. Similar to when you see political arguments, many times the political argument that you hear is just a reflection of what their actual feelings are that they're projecting onto the other person. You know, you see that quite a bit. You know, so here we have the banks practicing this, you know, projectionism in their actual day-to-day event and projecting it onto another asset class. So now MoneyGram, as we all know, was it a week or so ago, Ripple decides that they are going to acquire 10% stake or invest 10%. A 10% stake in MoneyGram, giving $50 million, $30 million immediately injected, with another 20 to be at the disposal of MoneyGram at any point to really whatever they want to use it for. I'm sure there's some strings attached. However, what happened in May, and I find it interesting that in May, the big announcement was that MoneyGram decided that they were going to open in Canada and in Chile. And why is Canada and Chile, or why is Canada important? Chile is important because it's a huge market. Chile has actually, since 2010, the remittance space has actually grown by 250% in the past 9 years. So much of it is due to mobile phone transaction. So that's significant. But MoneyGram focused on Canada really has a lot of significance, because when we want to look at what's going on over in Canada, and I think, you know, they really had a great, there's a great quote here. This was directly from a press release on PR Newswire, and the press release directly from MoneyGram. This quote that I took out of, I think, is interesting, because again, it's focused on Canada, and we're going to explain why Canada is significant. I don't know if there's any Canadians here, but if you want to move money, now's the time to do it. So the quote here: "We're focused on adapting to the changing needs of all Canadians, and this expansion enables us to deliver a better customer experience by providing another level of choice and convenience," said Grant Lyons, Chief Revenue Officer. Now again, this is from their press release. He added, "Canada is an important market and highlights how the MoneyGram value proposition continues to resonate with consumers who are increasingly using digital channels to send more to family and friends, including those who prefer to receive funds in cash." So that really explains why Canada is an important market. But what happened recently, and this was just announced, so we saw the news come out on this, and I looked for the article. Malpass even mentioned it on the Zoo earlier, that there was an article. I don't know what I did with this article, but anyhow, it doesn't matter what I did with it. But the announcement as of, and I think that article was from this past week. Today's Monday. It might have been from last week. That transfer costs out of Canada are now a flat 10 Canadian dollars, up to a transfer of $500. So now what's weird is that I was logging into MoneyGram a little while ago, and MoneyGram was actually allowed me to log in. So now it starts at like $3.99. Now that all has to do with the actual percentages. So let me share my screen again. Where'd OBS go? OBS, share my screen. There